Well, it's starting to feel a little bit like 2022 again. And trust me, I would know. I literally wrote the book on Aaron Judge and his 62 home run season. And much like at the tail end of that 22 campaign, Judge is making home run history and single handedly trying to power his team out of a skid. The Yankees blown out here tonight at Citi Field. Final score was the Mets 12 and the Yankees 2. Yanks only run scored on Judge's two-run homer, his 30th of the year, which he leads the major leagues and makes him the third player in Major League history to hit 30 home runs before an All-Star break 3 times in his career. The only other two to do it were Mark McGwire, who did it 4 times, and Ken Griffey Jr., who did it 3 times. And Judge also made a little bit of history in the Yankee book here. Home run was his 287th of the regular season, which ties Bernie Williams, burn baby burn, for 7th place on the franchise all-time list. And when you take all those numbers and throw them into the mixer here, what does Judge have to say about it? It's great, but it's not something they're really focused on. What the Yankees are focused on is the fact they've now lost 8 of 11. They've lost 4 consecutive series and swept here in the Subway Series by the Mets here at Citi Field. And much like last night when Judge hit a grand slam late to make it a 9-7 game, his home runs have come at lopsided times. That's because Luis Gil did not have his good command here in this one, lasted only into the 5th inning. And if you look at Gil now, that's 2 back-to-back here, so some of the shine of his terrific first half has come off quite a bit here. Fair to wonder, is fatigue playing a factor? And Gil said after the game, no, his arm feels fine. It's more of a command thing. And Aaron Boone echoing similar thoughts there, but clearly something to watch. And as I tweeted out during the game, Gil only pitched 4 innings last year. He came into this game today on pace to throw 160. So it's fair to wonder, I think, if he may need a breather sooner rather than later. The Yankees do have an off day coming up on Monday, so that could be a good opportunity for them to skip Gil in the rotation without disrupting too much. We'll see what the Yankees do. What they are doing right now, though, is flying north of the border, a big 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays, who have had a lot of trouble this year. So this was kind of a get-right spot in the schedule for the Yanks, these softer opponents. And it has not proven to be that way. Certainly on paper, the Mets series should have been one where the Yankees could have done some damage. Instead, very lopsided scores. And so they'll have to try and avoid the same as they head to Toronto. Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Bombers tomorrow night, opposite Jose Barrios. Other notes in this game here. Over this 12-game span, as I mentioned, they have been outscored 83-52. Not great, Bob. And also this year, they are susceptible to left-handed pitching. They fall to 9-12 against lefties, and I think you know now why. Even though Luis Severino really wanted to pitch against the Yankees in this series, Carlos Mendoza across the way said, no, we're going to have you pitch against the Cubs and throw 2 lefties in David Peterson and Sean Manaea. Clearly that plan worked. So that's the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. Judge, by the way, on his pace from 2022, 30 home runs in the first 82 games. That's exactly where he was in that season. So that's the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. Once again, your final score from Citi Field in Flushing, Queens is the Mets 12 and the Yankees 2. See you north of the border tomorrow in Toronto.